welcome to another exciting edition of your regular Wednesday video game podcast. It's God is a Geek podcast. We used to call it the Godcast. We no longer do, which is a shame because it actually does kind of, the Godcast podcast. It works. My name's Adam Cook. I'm your host, and I'm joined not by Chris White. He's away this week, but in his place, technically he's always here, but in his place means he's going to get the abuse this week. It's Adam Carroll.
Oh, Jesus, I was not expecting that. I'm getting abuse. Why?
Well, because we're always really nice to you, I feel like. Gary gets
Are
a
you?
fucking doing every
You're not nice to me. Fuck you.
I'm not nice to anyone, mate. I am known as the games industry's... hang on, I've got something for this. Because I used to say that I was the Dave Grohl of the games industry, but now I'm going the opposite way, so... Adam, think about what that would be, the kind of absolute bastard of, say, the music industry that I can be. Think about that while I introduce Gary Bailey.
Hello.
That is not the energy I'm looking for. I'm not going to lie to you. We're up. Let's try that. Gaz,
like,
I'll edit this out. No, I'll edit this out, Gary. No. So Adam, you think about that while I introduce Gary Bailey.
Woo!
It's
Hi.
yeah, all right. Okay, I'll accept it. Gaz, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm glad.
I don't
to
think
hear
I'm
it, mate.
quite as good as the wooing, but I went with it.
We'll put some sort of. In post, mate, you can do anything these days. There's all sorts of stuff you can do in post. I was going to say something about a YouTuber, then I'm going to just forget that bit. That's going to be edited out as well. We're going to come back to Adam Carroll in a minute, and when he tells me who that's going to be, that name of that person, we're going to cut that in, and this podcast will sound so professional. And on that note, he's been on the podcast before. I don't think we've been on one together, but we asked him how to pronounce his name. He tells us that the surname is the Irish version, even though he's Scottish. It's Mick Doherty.
Hello.
Explain yourself, sir. You told me before. This is behind the curtain. I was talking to Gary before you came online, and I said I don't know how to pronounce Mix. I can't even say the first fucking name at the moment, but we'll get there. Mick's second name, because to me, I look at it and I see Doherty, which I thought would be Irish, and being that you're Scottish, I thought it would be Doherty. But I'm completely wrong on all of that, correct?
That is... Aye, you're wrong.
Okay. So it's Doherty, which is, you say, the Irish version.
Well,
now,
no, it's Doherty. Like, the
that's...
confusing thing is, Doherty is the Irish version, Doherty is the Scottish version, but I've got the Irish name, just to confuse things.
So I'm saying it wrong. It's Doherty.
Doherty.
But without the K.
Yep.
Right,
So
okay.
you're saying your name is Irish.
Mm-hmm.
We just happen to have an Irishman on the line.
Woo.
Yep.
Is he right?
Yeah, he is.
You don't know, do you? You're just
No,
going
I
with
don't.
it.
I'm just going with it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Godspeed, sir. Irish name. You're saying it. I agree. Brilliant.
It's good enough. It's Shay Patrick Cormack all over again. Adam, you've had enough time. You've had enough time. Who is the absolute bastard of the music industry?
I'm going to say you're Bono.
Ooh.
I mean, we're having a laugh, mate. There was absolutely no fucking need. That was.
That's like a knife twist.
You gave me time, and I pondered. You're the boss. You told me to do it. I did it. I gave you the answer. What's the problem here? Bono.
I mean, I'm looking at a timeline here that says this podcast is currently around 4 minutes long. I have a feeling once I'm done editing it, it's about 22 seconds, which is fine. It's fine. Some people love the preamble. Some people hate it and want you to get right into the games, which is what I've been doing. I've had some time this week, and no, we're not. We are hoping to bring you something kind of cool in a couple of weeks, and that's the biggest clue you're going to get. And with that in mind, I took Adam's advice, I read Mick's review and took his advice, and I essentially took the advice of everyone who's mentioned this game at all, and I played through A Plague Tale: Innocence. Woo! And I'm going to give away what I thought of it by saying that I started it on about midday, and I stopped playing around about 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. Obviously, I did stuff in between, but not a lot, in truth. I then woke up the next morning, and I walked the dog and then came and sat down and played it till midday, where I saw the credits roll. That makes it a very good game in my eyes. I don't do that. I can't do that. I don't think many people can do that. I mean, Mick, I don't know, do you ever get a chance to just sit and play a game like a 12 to 15 hour game in around about 24 hours time?
I can do if I want to get in trouble with my wife.
Yes. Well, this is it. Mine was working, and the kids kind of take care of themselves, so I kind of got away with it a little bit. I timed it well. We sort of talked about this game a lot, but I'm gonna just say, on top of what Adam said recently, and top of like what Mick Fraser says in the review, I am kind of angry that I didn't play it earlier. Like, I really wish... There's a chance I could have just kept sleeping on this, and then come Christmas time when we do Game of the Year, all of a sudden, I still haven't played it, and there's no way I can play 15 hours of a game at Christmas time.
But this is fine now, because you have played it. And
I have.
This is the thing that it has to be stressed to everyone, that it has to be played before Game of the Year, because if you do have that situation where you do play it next year, that's still also fine. But you're going to regret that.
Yeah, I mean, it's... The thing is, right, is I forget if you said this or not. They don't... When I say they, I mean the Royal Games industry, they don't really make as many games like this anymore.
Yep.
Outside of Sony. Like, Sony do it, they make their first-person story-driven games. You know, they're The Last of Us, they're Uncharted. And this, to me, is in that ballpark. And I actually feel if this was a Sony first-party game, I think people would be raving about it. I really do. But because it's by a small studio, and I'm not going to have a go at Focus Home, but they tend to... It is them, isn't it? Because they tend to have games that are usually good, but also often they're fine, aren't they? They're just fine. Whereas this is... I would say the best game, I think, from memory, that Focus Home have ever published. It's comfortably, like, it's got the best score I've heard in a game this year. Like, it is phenomenal. The soundtrack is out of this world good. I again, without retreading too much ground, I don't think it's perfect. There are a few little issues that, for me, for example, the combat is not incredible. It's totally decent. It's totally good in places. The only time the game ever... This is literally the only time the game stumbles for me at all, really, is there are a few sections where the combat is forced, whereas the other times it feels like it is a choice. And towards the end of the game, you get like a lot of combat options. And again, throughout the rest of the game, you're building up your arsenal, so to speak, and you don't have to use any of it always. There are so many options. You know, you can distract and sneak past. Whereas as the game gets going towards the end, the combat feels like you kind of have to get involved. Ads. I don't know if you know what I mean. I don't want to spoil.
No, like I know exactly what you're talking about, obviously, but I can't say that like I'm on the same level there with you on that part of it, because the gameplay, it is important, obviously, but it's not, because it is so focused around stealth, and that we've mentioned all this before.
But I went into this thinking it was less of a game than it is. Like, I went into this expecting it to be more of a kind of walking sim, I think. Well, yeah. Than a third-person adventure. I think that was what I got from like videos and screenshots, and it is in that ballpark of like an Uncharted, just with a lot less combat.
Yeah, I just think that like if you had, for the age that these kids are, if they were going around with guns and stuff, and it just
absolutely
it wouldn't work.
I will say, right, and this is a minor spoiler, but obviously people know there's combat, so there's killing. There is a scene quite early on where they get it right, where Lara Croft's rebooted Tomb Raider got it wrong. Like in Lara Croft's Tomb Raider, you take, you know, I think Gaz, Mick, you've both played the first reboot, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know, that there was all that stuff about it, I think, when it was first shown at E3, where she first kills someone, but it's kind of like this moment of, oh my god, what have I done, followed by kind of, it's kind of like that Rick and Morty thing, like, you know, there's me killing again kind of thing, you know, like she's just off on a spree for the rest of the game, and
I
this,
just nod and
I think,
smile when people mention Rick and Morty, because I've never watched it.
Okay, but this kind of gets the pacing. You do still kill a lot of people, but like there's, I think, first of all, I think there's a payoff for that action, those actions, and the actions that follow. I think there's a payoff, like a whole scene that pays off trauma, essentially. Yeah. because you would. If you're trying to invoke the realism of, oh my god, what have I just done? There would be deep trauma. Like you would be fucked up. You don't just take a life and like go skip rope, you know. But I think there's a payoff, and I think the pacing of the game from that moment on is so damn good. And they also do a thing. I don't think you mentioned it, Ad. There's a thing they do that I love. Is like, you know, in a lot of games like this, you go from point A to B to get something, and then you sort of turn around. And even God of War does this, and it never bothered me. But in this, like, you know, so you go from point A to get something from point B, and then normally you have to turn around and go back to point A. In this, it cuts that out. It totally respects your time. It's like, we're not going to make you just go back the way you came and just have more combat. You've done what you need to do. We're going to give you a cutscene, a bit of passage of time that, you know, oh, you were there and it's daytime, and now we're going to cut to it's nighttime and you're arriving back where you came from, rather than making you do it again. And I really, really enjoy when a game does that, because not every, you know, that's how a 15-hour game becomes a 30-hour game, and it's unnecessary. They do so much.
Yeah. They keep a lot. They keep so much of it fresh for what you think is going to be repeated a lot.
Yes, like every time I was expecting to. I'm gonna have to go all the way back there, and every time they go, no, you don't. Why would we make you do that? It's really clever. Yeah, so it's just smart.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, even down to the upgrades and stuff. Like the upgrades are not that deep. You may think like, oh, I better think about this now, but
I wonder if you would need them. I wonder if you could play it and not bother. I reckon it's possible.
Yeah, possibly.
Someone's probably done it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, someone's probably done it with a guitar.
But there's I don't know, like, even down to like the choices that you have within the game. I think they do, even this is really smart with regarding the trophies and achievements. Yeah. Like, you can do something that, like, realistically, if you meet an enemy, you could have a choice to do something there and then. If you don't, or if you do, there's going to be a kind of a reward of an achievement or a trophy. And I think it's it just works so well within this game because of just what is going on and how you feel. Like, there's nobody you like in this game but who is helping you realistically, and you really care for your brother.
All the good characters I liked, like all of them. Yeah. I fear every time there was danger, I feared for every one of them. I was like, oh no, don't kill off that one or that one or that one. I wanted them all to make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know that's slightly a spoiler, but there are that's even that, right? Because the whole game's essentially an escort mission, which sounds terrible, but I promise you, it's done incredibly well. There's two people on screen. It never feels like that. No, it never feels like there's two people on screen. There are moments where there are two different people on screen, and I will say, I think even that is done in such a clever way because it actually introduces the mechanics. Yeah. Like, it's just a smart game. It's a memorable game. Like, it's stuck with me.
And it will, like, as the days go by, man, you're going to be like, fuck, that moment in A Plague Tale. And then you listen to the soundtrack and you'll be like, oh, it just, that's what it did to me. And as it went on, like, when you just said there at the start, like, these games that don't get this attention as much anymore, like, this, to me personally, I think I did say this, it deserves just as much praise as what Hellblade got.
Yeah,
it just does.
It's different, but yeah,
of course, yeah, it's different. But like, if you like Hellblade, you're gonna fucking love A Plague Tale. If you love A Plague Tale, you're probably gonna like Hellblade. But I just think A Plague Tale is still it's just a stronger game.
I mean, I'm gonna say a few things. One thing I want to say is, and I really don't mean this to sound mean, but when you go into a game that's published by Focus Home, like I say, you don't expect kind of AAA. You don't. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, because I'm one of these people that says, like, a 7 out of 10 is worth playing. But this looks brilliant. It sounds incredible. The voice work is great. The gameplay is tight. It feels good. Everything. There's literally... I've spoke to a couple of people about it actually this week, and a few. Oh yeah, well, I'm hoping it'll hit Game Pass. I get that.
Ah, fuck no.
I know. I get it, and it actually does seem like a kind of game that could. But I would really recommend you don't sleep on it, because you will, I promise, afterwards go, oh wow, I really wish I'd played this 2 months ago. Like, it's that good. That's
it. Like, and the thing is, support this game, because this is another conversation in its own way. But like, I do think that if this was hyped we're just so used to the hype now of things, and so used to like the big events.
Well, it's the AAA publishers, isn't it? It's the Ubisoft, it's the Activisions, and Focus Home aren't in that. They're not in that stable.
Exactly, but this is just a prime example of take a gamble, spend the £50 or whatever it is. Like I paid €55, and I swear I would have paid fucking 70. I'm just, when I played it, I was like, that is a top class game. It's the perfect length for me. Like I adore, clearly, I've said this many times, and I'm glad you're the exact same, because I think if somebody turned to me and went, nah, not for me, I'd be like, oh, that's really fascinating. And then I'd be like, so clearly you don't like Uncharted and The Last of Us.
I mean, I'm not even a big stealth guy. I've said this millions of times on this podcast. It isn't what you think it is in that respect. No. Really. I'd be surprised if anything tops it for best soundtrack at the end of the year.
Oh man,
I would really be surprised. I mean, I hope something does, because when for something a real treat. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to. We should move on, because we've talked quite a lot about the game. But I
cannot
really
wait for Game of the Year talk. That's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
I want to quickly talk. Well, I say quickly. If it's anything like my attempt at quickly playing it, I want to talk about Forager, and I want to ask if you guys know anything about Forager.
It looks like
very, very little.
It looks like a Steam World kind of thing.
No, it's not. So it came out on PC. It came out on PC, I think, this year. But now it's hit like PS4 and Switch, and Nicola said it in the review. It's a dangerous game. Like, I sat down. This is the real problem with this game on the Switch, right? Is, you know how the Switch, like Fire Emblem's a bugger for discharging the battery. Zelda's the same. Forager, you can almost get like 4 hours battery out of that damn thing. It's not a taxing game. This game is a clicker essentially, but not in the way it is on a PC, where it is literally a clicker. Like on Switch, you are holding down it's more like Minecraft.
Aye.
You were going up to a tree and holding the right trigger to mine the tree.
You're losing me.
But it is so delightful in terms of how it looks and sounds, and it's so easy to get enraptured by it. Like, Mick, I know you were saying you were gonna buy it. Did you end up?
I did buy it, and I lost about 3 hours of my night. Kind of sitting there, just kind of like you say, like kind of chopping down trees and and
it's so chill, isn't it?
Aye, but you don't even notice the time disappearing.
And it's all there's the carrot at the end of the stick is it's too tempting. I think I had to take the Switch off my son and say, you're not playing this today, because he was sitting there at school holidays just playing this game, and his mates were too. They were all on their Switches. I had to say, no, today you are not playing this, and he didn't even argue, because I think he knew. Do you know what I mean? I think he knew. Yeah, you're right.
Can I ask though, what does this game do now in terms of that kind of level of addiction that something like, say, Dragon Quest Builders or Minecraft or Stardew Valley and things like that? Like, what does this do? Because I know it's all well and good to jump into this game and go, oh, it's so nice, and listen to this lovely little soundtrack, and it's all so sweet and bubbly. That's brilliant. Does this game go, yeah, but you're going to fucking be playing this all year? As opposed to just a couple of hours here and there, I'm addicted now, and then next week I'm going to be like, it's such a nice game.
Well, I mean, Mick's a good person to ask, because he says you lost 3 hours to play in it. Have you been thinking about it since?
Yes, a lot.
It's got mobile trappings in a way, hasn't it? In that, it's almost like you're not tapping because you're collecting them by walking on them, but it's almost like, I'm trying to think of a game. There must be thousands of mobile games like this, but you know what I mean. Like you something happens and like a load of things explode and you tap them to collect them. You know what I mean?
That's what it feels like. It feels like it's like a mobile developer's jumped into the console, because everything builds up to something else. Like, you chop down your tree, right? Cool. You need 4 of them to make a bit of coal, for example. But then if you collect 20 pieces of coal, you can make a brick, and it's like so you're just constantly like hammering through everything. It's just
and there's also a skill tree as well. So every time you level up, you get 1 skill point, and each skill point. So, for example, one of them will let you be able to build I don't know, like torches. One of them lets you build a bank. So rather than relying on gold, that you have to mine the gold and then use the gold to make money, you can now just have a bank which is just constantly making you a coin every few seconds, and it just keeps going. And then you get deeper into the game, and you've got like a farm of banks just constantly earning you. And there's vaults and store. it kind of, in a way, reminds me of Adventure Capitalist. I don't know if anyone's played that. In terms of, like, it's always something leveling up, upgrading, something to go, oh, now I've done that, I can do this. Oh, now I've done this, I can do that. It just constantly makes you come back.
But what do you actually do? Like,
well, you're exploring an island. It's an island, isn't it, Mick? You're exploring an island.
You've got your island, and then you can kind of buy surrounding islands that open up new things and secrets. Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's not just foraging and mining. Like, there are little quests, there are dungeons with bosses in them. And on the Switch, like, the roadmap's on there, and it says, like, there is multiplayer coming. That they are refining the combat engine. Because at the moment, it's not a difficult game, but it's not supposed to be, I don't think. Like, you start off on a square, like a big square island, and you then unlock one up, down, left or right of you, and as you sort of spread out from that central point, each island becomes more expensive to buy. So it's like a constant, well, I need more to get this, because there might be something cool on that island, you know?
Okay, right, that makes a bit of sense.
It's very, very addictive, isn't it, Mick?
Aye. This is, like you say, there's always something else, and it's when you unlock that new thing, you're like, I wonder what that does. So I'm going to have to go through everything again just to unlock that new thing.
Does it have that same effect? Because on the Switch, it's one of those things where I've played it mostly handheld. In fact, I've played it entirely handheld. I for example, you think to yourself, right, I'm going to stop. This is a natural point to stop because I've got the resources to do that thing. I'll build that and stop. And so you do that, you build that thing, and then you go, oh, but that's unlocked all these other things now, and you don't stop, do you?
No.
And that happens on PS4 as well, does it?
Aye, exactly that. That's what kind of kept me going. Like, right, I've built that thing, I'll stop now. And I was like, oh, but wait, that kind of ore rocks appeared, so I'll just kind of gather a wee bit of resources for that next thing, and then, oh, well, I'm nearly there, I might as well do it.
I mean, if you're like, if you have like sort of obsessional compulsive tendencies, as you know, like I'm someone who likes the light switches all to match. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you do that, if you're like that at all, the thing about all these bits of island is that they constantly respawn stuff. Like, the trees constantly respawn. You know, ore pops up, enemies pop up. So every time you think I'm done, even if you genuinely are like, no, I'm a little bit away from actually being able to build anything, suddenly like loads of trees will spawn on your island. And you're like, I want to clear them out, and I'll get loads of resources for doing them. It's just so Moorish. I don't think Adam and Gary are convinced.
It's not my kind of game. It's like I've played stuff like Minecraft and I enjoyed it, but it's never been the sort of thing to keep me going. Like, so I need something with like story or something like a racing game, that kind of thing, to keep me going. So it's just I can't. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's like if you play like a football game, like you guys, like you'll keep playing that because you enjoy the football. It's the same with me with racing games, but with something like Forager, I get bored with not having like some kind of structure. Something to basically go. Well, I mean, like something that's sort of going right. You need, if you go here, this is like your next story beat. Or you go, you can still go off and explore stuff, but I kind of need something to funnel me forward.
It kind of has that, but I'm not going to recommend you get it because it is just, it's a sickness, isn't it? Really. Mick, you've been playing Firewatch, I believe, which is, I want to say, came out 2 years ago, but could it be 3?
2016.
Yeah.
Jesus, why now?
Because it was on sale, and it's always something I wanted to try, and I thought I might as well. Because every time I've seen somebody speak about it, it's never been spoiled. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, this is actually quite a nice game," or "It looks nice, the sunset's pretty," and that kind of thing. And it's such a horrible game, like story wise. I'm sitting playing it, like, everything's pretty, and then but kind of all these things happen, and I'm like, this is horrible. This is like, it's more a horror game than it is some nice wee walking simulator.
Yeah.
Poor old Henry goes through a lot.
Oh, is that his name?
Henry.
I couldn't tell you his name.
Henry and Delilah.
Delilah, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
But even the start, like the wee kind of beginning story bits, be like, oh, you lock eyes across the room with Julia, and you're all chatting away, and it's like, oh, no, she's got Alzheimer's. And you're like,
oh yeah,
okay. What do you do? And I was like, well, I'll look after her. And it gives you the option do you want to leave her sleeping, or do you want to lock her in the bedroom? And you're like, okay. and it's just all these
Oh god, yeah, the whole novel visual, the novelty type thing at the beginning. I forgot about all that.
And it was kind of like, you end up sleeping in a cell because you've had too much to drink, and I think she has a fall or something. Something happens to her anyway, and her family turn up like, "Oh, you're useless. We're carting her back to Australia." And I think he starts drinking too much, and then sees a wee kind of job to be a fire watcher or whatever the official job title is. But it's just I think I'm up to like the last day, and part of me is like, I want to finish it, but I don't think I could take any more horrible stuff happening, because I'm kind of
got that far though.
I know I'm kind of like, I might as well finish him up to the last day, but it's just everything up to there, like the weird guy watching, like from the top.
I forgot about that.
And like the lassie's camp being ripped apart, and you're like, this is, and then them disappearing, and then they reappear eventually, which is fine. But it was the story with Ned and, I want to say Brian, his son. I think that was his name. But that whole story, that was just horrible. I actually got up to that bit a couple of nights ago. And
it's Brian. Brian's his name.
Brian, and it was just it was well done, but it was just horrible. I just didn't like it. And it was like, the part as well, I don't want to say anything too much, I don't want to spoil it, but it had one of the most disrespectful things in a game I've ever seen that I couldn't help but laugh at, like through all the horribleness that came in it. Like, it's just like, it's an option. I don't know, it's 3 years old now, so it doesn't really matter if I spoil it, does it?
I mean, you can warn people. I'm trying to think of it, which bit you mean with the disrespectful bit. Listen, spoilers for Firewatch coming up in 3, 2, 1. Mick, go for it.
Okay, there is the section that you find a cave, and there's some chat around Brian, and you eventually find Brian, who is about 12 or 13 year old, and you basically find his body.
Oh yeah.
But the bit I thought was disrespectful, and it did make me chuckle, was like, step over Brian. I'm like, so you're kind of finding this. I
don't remember that.
Finding this kid, and you're like, Henry's pure distraught, and I'm pure distraught, and my wife Karen was watching, and she's like, oh my god, this is horrible. And then it's like, I step over him. You're like, all right, well that's done. Step over, on your way. And you're kind of like, okay.
It's like the press F to pay respects all over again.
That's pretty much it.
Press F to skip over corpse.
Aye, that's pretty much it. And you just kind of like step over him, and then, okay, Brian's away. And you're like okay.
Yeah, I don't actually remember that bit. Well, I remember that bit, but I don't remember the step over the corpse bit.
I think this game, like, I love the visual aesthetic of this game.
Aye.
I think that's the one thing that really pops out as like a seller. If anyone's kind of sitting on wondering should they get it or not, like, still to this day, like, that's a real, like, I just love how it looks, and I think the story does carry its weight. I don't know if it's still the case. I don't know how it is now regarding patches, but I do remember having a few minor frame rate situations when it first came out, but nothing too heavy really. Like, but you should definitely finish it, man. Like.
Oh, I will do.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to finish. I'm going to have to find out about everything. Was it like YTA Camp or something like that it's called? I need to find out about that, and the random guy, and the messages being left. Like,
yeah.
But I did hear that apparently it was announced a couple of years ago there's meant to be a film version. I don't know how far along that is, or if it's still a thing.
I think that would make sense. I think that would be...
No, I think it could work.
They're making another game, aren't they? They got bought by Valve, Campo Santo. It's apparently called In the Valley of the Gods, and it's out this year or something. But I think that's just a lack of update to a news story. Like, I'm pretty sure that game's not out this year. I'm sure it's the first I've heard of it, that it was even called that. I remember that, like, let's say last year they got bought by Valve, but...
Yeah, it just says 2019 here as well, yeah.
Obviously, we're both looking at the same Wikipedia entry.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that game was certainly good enough that... I mean, I actually... Do you know in the game you can get your photos developed and sent to you that you take.
Really?
Yeah, like, I don't know if that was something they did own, because I'd reviewed it and it was certainly there. Because you take photos with the camera, don't you?
I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, I don't know if they
time.
stopped doing that, because I wonder if they were going to do it forever. But I did do that, and I actually got mine in the post, and they're nice photos.
Cool.
They're cool, yeah. Including some of the story beat ones as well. Like there are a couple of beats in the game where the story means you take a photo or a photo gets taken, and they're in there as well. And it's a good looking game, man. It is. It's a good looking game. They're nice photos, of a game, I suppose, so to speak. But what have you been playing at? Have you been playing anything of
this is a kind of a quick one, but I've been diving into DC Universe Online for the Switch. So this has obviously just been released. Well, as of listening to this, it's probably just about a week now. But it came out free to play. I never dived into this. It came out in 2011. I've never dived into this game. I think initially I was like, sounds cool, but it's like you pay monthly, I think, when it first came out, and like for PS3 and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was for me just, I didn't want to jump into that, because I think that was around the time I said this actually last week, but I think that was around the time I was trying to like stop playing WoW and things like that. So I got it for Switch, and oh man, it fucking annoyed me though, because I downloaded it and then I just had to archive so much on my Switch.
How big is it?
It was about 26 gigs, I think.
Mate, I mean, I can only go for the PS3 version, but it was certainly not good enough to be that much space.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I'm assuming it's got all extra content sort of that's
must have
added over the time.
I thought this game got shut down. Like, wouldn't it one of Sony's studios that then got bought by Blue something?
Jesus, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I thought that I heard the same thing. Oh, like I remember correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it was around Daybreak. Yeah. I feel like it was almost 2 years ago they actually fully announced, we're shutting down all servers for DC Universe Online. Thank you for all your playtime, whatever. And then it just comes out here. And I never knew that it was actually being released on Switch. But anyway, got it, downloaded it, and I've put in a couple of hours, and really, like, it is what it is. Like, it is just what it is. I clearly picked Batman. I was like, yep, here we go. And went in as Batman, and just kind of ran around. Now, I think for me personally, the most impressive thing here was I'm actually using my fucking Nintendo online subscription. For once, I was like, oh, cool, so this has a purpose right now. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing was, it actually worked. Do you know, I've had no issue whatsoever with connecting and logging in, and it's your typical like a probably just under a minute of getting everything up and you're in the world. But that's still pretty good, like, because I was expecting an absolute nightmare once I downloaded it for free and stuff, do you know? But yeah, I jumped around. It's a bit like, I don't know if any of you have ever played it.
No, it's one that I always wanted to play but never did.
Well, now's the perfect time, guys. Is
it though?
Well, like, look at it this way, okay? You run around, you're beating up all these goons, you get quests. It's your standard online game. You have a hub world of loads of people with you, dressed as all their favourite superheroes, or dressed as their own kind of superhero that you can design.
Is it just heroes, or can you do like the villains and stuff as well?
You can do the villains as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Is the main baddie Brainiac or something?
Yeah.
There you go. See, not bad. My memory's not that bad.
Yeah. So you get all that, and you get a little tutorial at the start, and you're on a ship, and you're running around. And at first, you kind of go, yeah, like instantly, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to play this for long now. Immediately, do you know, it just feels a bit. It's a bit behind, but you got to give you got to give it some kind of chance, I guess.
What's the Marvel one that got shut down?
There was a Marvel one.
Yeah, there was a Marvel MMO.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Marvel Heroes? Is it Marvel Heroes?
Possibly.
I'm going to Google that because I'm sure Marvel Heroes video game, Marvel Heroes 2050. Yeah, it was Marvel Heroes. I'm sure it was.
Marvel Heroes.
Yeah, free to play MMO action RPG.
I kind of vaguely remember that.
That was quite good. That got like rebooted several times.
Oh right.
And that got shut down in 2017. And just looking at it now, it was 2017. Daybreak shut down the PS3 version so that they could focus on the PS4.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a lot of DLC for this game by the looks of it. Holy shit!
For the Marvel one,
34 episodes.
DC, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I remember the one. Wasn't the one alongside Aquaman? Like the film, like they released like a Atlantis thing.
Yeah, episode 33, November 8th, 2018. 33rd episode pack entitled Atlantis revolves around the player's journey to Atlantis to save the city and assist Aquaman.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because it was around that time when the film came out.
I'd imagine this one is as well, episode 34 after it, Justice League Dark. March 28th this year.
That's the Batman one, isn't it? I reckon I'm pretty
DC hero John Constantine, they're helping him find artifacts useful in fighting back new demonic threats. I'm not a DC guy. I mean, I know Batman, but that's about it, you know. Well, there is... Yeah, I mean, there looks... I wonder if all this is still playable. You know, like the Will of Darkseid and Brainiac's Battleship, Harley's Heist, Wayne Manor Gala, Age of Justice, Blackest Night.
There's just, like... seems to be a lot within this game. And, like, as soon as I was just left off to do my own thing, I was like, oh, fuck, right, okay. What am I up to? And all of a sudden I'm running up walls and everything, and I'm just flying around the place, and there's just people just beating the shit out of every fucking enemy you can see. It's just chaos, you know what I mean? That's straight up what it is. But, like, as I was playing it, I was having fun. It is clunky. There's no denying that. It is clunky. But, you know, there's shit tons of numbers flying everywhere, and you're getting loads of armor, and it's just like equipped because all you see is green and an arrow pointing up, so you're just like, put it on me because that's going to obviously make me unreal. And, you know, that's just what this is. And, like, instantly the first, like, there's tons of quests obviously you can just start activating. What I liked about it being Batman, obviously, was I was immediately put into a mission where it was Scarecrow just making shit of the city. And
oh yeah,
do you know? And I was kind of like,
I remember
that. I'm kind of up for this straight away. I'm like, all right, just do this quest, whatever. And then I went down, like, I ended up walking down Crime Alley, and I actually got a little like achievement for walking down Crime Alley. And then I was just there, kind of going, oh, that's pretty cool.
There's also another bit like press F to pay respects, though, isn't it? Here's an achievement for walking past where your dead parents. You know?
I know, yeah.
But like the trouble with these kind of games, especially DC ones, is like anytime I think of Batman in a game at all, all I think about is what are Rocksteady doing?
Yeah.
Like I can't take my mind. So it's like I mean, I'll be honest with you. These kind of games have to be exceptional to get me invested in them, and I don't certainly remember. I don't know. I'm guessing they never got a visual upgrade, but I did play a few hours of the PS3 version, I think, and
it looks pretty poo poo. I'll be honest.
It just didn't feel amazing to me, but it maybe isn't my kind of game. So you know.
But yeah, you like as I said, you get like you press like the right or left bumper, and it instantly opens up all your like powers that you can just do. And like, to be honest, once you hit a power, it starts doing that whole like cooldown effect or whatever. Yeah. But like, I'm just bashing buttons and I'm just getting upgraded, and I'm okay with that. And I didn't pay shit all for this game, so I'm kind of like having a bit of fun with it. It won't really probably last. I don't know. It'll be hilarious if at the end of the year I'm like still playing this.
I don't think you'll be playing it next week.
Well, probably, because I'll be getting fucking Astral Chain or something, and I'll put it in and I'll have to archive it, and that'll be that. It's done so.
Before we move on, any Fire Emblem update or?
Oh yeah, sure. Jesus, I'm still playing that. Still great. Still learning. Just still trying to like create relationships and be a good professor. And
fair enough.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I'm not gonna really talk about that game until I finish it, because you know that's just how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Gaz, anything you've been playing?
I just sort of touch on the one I've been playing this week, the Battlerite Royale, which I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think most people will be like, the what now? You know, they won't have a clue, but like it's billed as like a MOBA Royale kind of thing, but I've never played a MOBA, so to me it felt more like Diablo. You know, it plays like Diablo, but you're playing against you're playing against like 29 other players. So far, anyway, the max
Why
I've seen
29, Gaz? Why 29?
I don't know. So far, like the max players
30,
is 30 players. Yeah, so you're playing against 29 others. So
Okay. I thought you meant it was just an all-round 29 and my OCD was going through the fucking roof.
you weren't listening, were you? That's what I'm hearing there. But no, I at first, I played like the tutorial because it basically goes, you can't play the game until you play the tutorial, which kind of makes sense because if you're like me and you've never played a MOBA or you don't really know what this game is, you're like, okay, yeah, I need to learn what I'm doing. It's free to play as well now, which is kind of nice, but it is only on PC. It'd be nice if it comes to console because I think it is actually genuinely really good. I've played like quite a bit of it. I've been really enjoying it. I'd say it's like Diablo, but in a battle royale situation. So when you start each match, you're on the back of like this giant blue wolf dragon kind of thing, and you're flying over the map. You jump wherever you want to jump, and then once you're down, you're hitting like little orbs that then throw out little weapons or abilities, that kind of thing. Because you start, rather than like most like the battle royale games, it's like you start off with no weapons. Obviously, you got to find a gun or whatever. Whereas this time you start with just your standard like left mouse button attack. You can buy, like before each match, you kind of have like a Counter-Strike style thing where you can buy. You've got limited amount, but you can buy like a few starter abilities. But as you play and you go find these orbs, you'll get more of these abilities and you'll upgrade the ones you've got. And sort of by the end of the match, if you've made it that far, you know, you're quite beefy kind of thing. You got quite a lot of shit going on. But I mean, I've been enjoying it, and like I've more or less regularly been top 10 finish. I've won 2 matches now, which I've not done in it. You know, like I said, I've never won any battle royale game like ever. So it's nice.
Is this your way of saying you're going to start playing Dota?
Fuck no, I'm not into that. Like this is
you are. This is you said it's a MOBA.
No, it's the fact that it's a battle royale that wants me to play it. Like I wouldn't want to play any other style. Like I'm playing it because it's the battle royale and it's done and over in like within sort of 10-15 minutes. Right. And so it's like I can just go in.
So you'll want to play Teamfight Tactics or Dota Underlords, is what you're saying?
That tactics, me.
These are the chess. I'm just recycling. These are the chess names. You know, the Dota auto chess ones they made. That's them.
I'd love to say I knew what you were talking about, but
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it's very good and it looks nice as well. It's got that sort of World of Warcraft Diablo 3 style look to it as well. It's a very pretty game. And there's a lot of good characters to choose from. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I reckon it's one of those rare ones that once I've played it for the site, I'm gonna keep playing it.
You keep doing it, yeah. It's always a good game.
Yeah, that's it. Because I mean, I'm sure you know, like there's many times you'll have played a game, and then once it's done, you might think, "Oh, I'll go back to it," but never do, or you just think, "I'm done with it. That's it." So it is nice when you get that thing of going, "Oh, actually, no, I'll dip into that now and again."
So. Fair enough.
But have they got a wee catchy phrase for first place?
Yeah. I don't think it does. I think it just says victory.
That's really boring.
Give me a minute.
Anticlimactic.
Give me a minute. I did capture a screenshot. I can tell you exactly what it says.
We do need to know.
Yep. Victory. It just says Champion Royale. That's it.
That's
it. Yeah, it's no catchy. No chicken dinner. No...
That's not great, is it? Let's be honest. Okay, let's get on to some listener correspondence. I think Adam and I have kind of answered this one first, but Dane via Discord says, "What's your favourite gaming soundtrack of 2019 so far?" I think mine would be A Plague Tale: Innocence so far.
I'll be honest, when you were saying it before, my brain was already thinking ahead to this and going, that's already answering that question right there.
Yeah, I forgot. But I mean, that's mine and Adam's. What about you guys, you and Mick?
I can't really think of that, man. I mean, Resident Evil 2 had a decent soundtrack. Devil May Cry had a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, it fit.
Yeah, but nothing really that's made me think, oh, that's brilliant. You know, I'd like to pick up that soundtrack or something like that. Not that I can think of, anyway.
I mean, I've seen people saying the Fire Emblem Three Houses soundtrack's brilliant. I don't agree. I think it's incredibly repetitive, that game. Especially when you're in the monastery, which you are a lot, so...
I think I'd have to go with The Outer Wilds.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember it, but I didn't get on with that game, so fair play.
Oh, I couldn't get enough of that game.
I felt like I was missing everything. The thing that everyone was talking about. It's just like I don't get. Why am I not able to get this? I don't know what it was, but I don't know. Okay, fair enough. David Ayres at David Ayres _ wants to very quickly. He says, "When will Adam play Judgment? Because it's amazing." I think he means me. I have actually played an hour and a bit of Judgment. I thought it was all right, very much a Yakuza game, and I've overdosed on them a little bit because they had a lot of them came out. You know, you had 0, Kiwami 2, 6, and now Judgment, which, although it's not Yakuza, it's set in the same place, is mechanically similar. And I was like, this is definitely a nice take on it. I wish I'd played this 2 games ago, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But his main question is, he wants to know, what are the gang's thoughts on a crisp sandwich? He means, well, he says it's actually bread this time. Yeah, in other words, he means it's not a bread.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a crisp sandwich. Or crisp butty, as I'd call it. But
it's telling that when he said it's actually bread this time, I didn't understand what he meant, because all I could think about was his fucking Pringles. So what, Mick, what are your thoughts on a crisp sandwich?
Oh, I love them. I call them crisp piece, which
crisp what?
A piece.
Crisp piece.
Aye, it's a Scottish
Yeah,
word for
okay.
a sandwich.
Like a piece of cake, a piece.
Aye, well, we call a sandwich a piece. So we see a piece in crisps.
Okay.
But
you're learning here.
Can I ask? I don't know if I'm. Listen, I'm playing the role of the audience. Why did they? Why did I said? He said, "Do they?" Then I nearly was racist towards you, Mick. Why do you? I'm just still doing it. Why do you guys? Why do you call it a piece?
I don't know. It's just
okay.
So if I just go, can I have a piece? Will
That's
someone know?
To me sounds sexual.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, but if someone says, hey, can you give me a piece? Am I getting a crisp sandwich handed into my hand?
You'd get a sandwich. You're like, can I get a piece? It's like, can I get a piece of sausage, piece of jam?
So, are you telling me, just to be absolutely clear, that if I were to go to... Whereabouts in Scotland are you from, Mick? I forget. Is it Edinburgh?
Glasgow. Oh, no.
Fucking hell, I'm sorry. That wasn't even a joke. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely... Please, I'm sorry. If I were to come to you and say... seriously, just to be serious for a minute, Mick, can I have a sausage piece? You would...
I would cook some sausage and put it in between 2 slices of bread.
And hand it to me into my hand, there would be no unzipping involved. Because if you came to me down south here, where I'm a southern softie, and said, "Can I have a sausage piece?" I'd unzip.
no, it's not that.
You're fucking easy, you aren't you, Adam? Can I have a piece?
Yeah,
right.
How many episodes? Yeah, I am pretty easy. But so you're big. I mean, the thing is, I don't think anyone here is going to not be a fan of a crisp sandwich. I know Adam. I mean, Adam's shown his hand months ago with if he's willing to eat Pringles mashed inside other Pringles, the man's going to have some bread with crisps in it. Yeah. Mick, you've shown your hand. I'm a fan of a crisp sandwich. Gary.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it's been a long time since I had one. But
see, that's what I was going to ask, right? Because I don't. Crisp sandwich to me is one of those things that, say you've got a cheese sandwich and a packet of crisps and, I don't know, a Whisper Gold for your lunch and a fridge milkshake, right? Let's just say you've got them things and you might pour, very occasionally, I want to fancy a couple of crisps, because I think most people would go, right, sandwich, crisps, chocolate bar, done. Drinks intermittent, isn't it? It's throughout the meal. But I think just occasionally you sometimes think, I fancy a crisp now. So you might pour a couple onto your plate halfway through the sandwich and you might think, oh, do you know, I've got these are cheese and onion. I'm going to tuck a couple of these in my cheese and onion sandwich, my cheese sandwich. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I would ever
just make crisps.
Just get some bread. I'm trying to think. I think I have.
You have.
All right, sorry.
I've been there.
That's true.
I've seen you.
Yeah.
But
Would
the thing
you-
is,
Yeah.
but do you like if you were to just make a crisp sandwich,
Would you butter it?
do you butter your bread?
If I was just gonna slap some crisps in between some bread, I don't think I'm buttering it. I think I'm going the full late because I think what's at that point you're further along to making a say, and I'm doing the air quotes, proper sandwich.
But
So
it's not. It's lubing up your mouth.
Aye. You need some.
That's
You can't
not a
fucking just have
phrase.
crisps
That's
and
not a
bread.
phrase you
That's-
really need to use, is it?
No, he didn't. There's the choice been made there, Gaz. You're quite right. He's made a choice, and Mick's gone with it.
Oh, I'm a fan of the salad cream instead of butter.
Oh,
My word.
So it'll be like
Salad cream.
You get like roast chicken. Like
Oh,
no,
Mick.
the perfect
Sure-
one is roast chicken
Yeah.
crisps, salad cream.
Fucking hell.
I think you've knocked me off the fucking
I think you've
Pringle
met your
podium.
match, mate. You have met your
Yeah,
match.
you fucking.
This is
Whoa,
so.
how you
But
fixed?
doesn't I will say right? If Mick, if your statement is just I'm a fan of salad cream, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you.
No,
But-
it needs to be with crisps.
Oh, okay, of course. I'm sorry, but doesn't that massively limit the flavour of crisp? You can't tell me you're slapping prawn cocktail in your salad cream bread. It's
I hate prawn
Really?
cocktails, so
okay. Worcester
I actually literally just shuddered
Aye.
at that. At the thought of
You-
prawn cocktail and salad
you
cream
two,
together. Whoa.
neither of you two like prawn cocktail crisps.
nah,
Oh, I like
it-
prawn
no.
cocktail crisps, but
tastes like vomit.
Oh,
the idea of that and salad cream together.
hang on.
No.
Sorry, Gary. I don't mean to interrupt you there, but Mick just said prawn cocktail tastes like vomit.
Aye.
And he's not 2 minutes ago said he likes salad cream sandwiches with roast chicken crisps. I'm sorry, but there's a disparity in opinion here. Well, all right. Right, Mick. Top 3 flavours of crisps to have in a sandwich. Start in third, if you will. So lead up to. Well, you've already said roast chickens first, so you may as well go 1, 2, 3. Actually.
Okay, so roast chicken, then cheese and onion.
Okay.
And-
Yep.
I don't know, probably Worcester sauce, aye.
See, I can't dispute the 3 flavors. I'm not a big fan of roast chicken crisps. I'll be honest with you, but I can't dispute. Well, hang on. What roast chicken crisps are we talking? Are we talking Walkers, which I would probably turn down, or are we talking like you can get Walker's Sensations that are like roast chicken and thyme and?
Oh no, nothing that fancy. Just plain roast chicken.
Okay. I mean, Gary, what I mean, could you get us out of this by just? I'll edit this in post. If I'm going to ask you what your favourite 3 are, if you could just say ready sorted, and ready sorted. But what are your if you're going to have a crisp sandwich and I'll say right, there's a shop here only sells packs of crisps. What 3 flavours are you going to go for? Not at the same time. Well, maybe leave that to Adam. What are you going to go for?
I mean, cheese and onion.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar.
Okay, I was wondering when
salt and
someone was
vinegar.
going to say that. Yeah.
I'd probably say something like beef and onion, or possibly something
I
like.
don't think they make them anymore, Gaz.
Beef and
I'm
onion.
sure they do. The
I think
Walkers
they
not
make roast
make them anymore?
beef. I
Has
don't
it
think they make
changed
beef
now?
and onion anymore.
Either that or something like the
Beef and
like the
onion.
McCoys, like like the
Flame
steak,
grilled steak.
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
That'd be quite
So,
nice.
They're
I'm
a
not-
very extreme crisp to put in between 2 slices of bread.
Oh,
aren't
you
they?
see, I was going to ask you, Adam, and I think I already know the answer. Now, you and I have got history with this flavour of crisp. Would you never be tempted to? This is why I don't butter them. Would you never be tempted to slip some Doritos Chili Heatwave in there?
I never have. I don't know how it'd go down. Jesus.
Well, it goes down very nicely, mate. I think you'll find.
See, you're willing to do the whole Pringles thing, but this is where you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
weird.
about that.
It's weird to put
I'm not
Doritos
saying I don't
inside
know
bread.
about it. I'm just saying guys, listen. You need to learn the ways of it, right? It's like
He's older than you.
it comes. Well, I'm talking about the texture, man.
Oh,
the
sorry.
Texture.
Okay. You're saying he needs to live. He needs to learn
Yeah.
to live.
I don't know. Like I definitely tried Dorito, but I don't know. I'd still
Well,
butter.
and listen, I don't want you coming it with your influencer style. I'm going to make this up because it's funny. I want you to tell, and trying to out Mick. I want you to tell me what your three flavours would be in.
It would be cheese and onion.
Okay, I was going to say build up to it, but just jump straight in there.
Fuck it, like
That'd be third
cheese-
place, yeah.
Oh, you're putting me in top 3. I don't know. Cheese and onion would be number 1.
Everyone likes a cheese and onion sandwich. crisp sandwich.
The crisp sandwich was created because of the cheese and onion crisp.
I think you're right.
It happened. It happened because some absolute genius sat in his room one night, just in a state after a rake of booze, and made it, and he went, holy shit, I'm going to change the word with this. Told everyone, correct.
Right.
Changed. Yep. Cheese and onion. Then I would go sour cream and onion.
What, Pringles?
I'm not letting the lads behind. I'm not letting them behind, alright?
Pringles definitely don't seem like a crisp that goes in a sandwich.
They do when you hang on, actually. Here's a question for you.
Oh, don't start. Don't. No, I've been avoiding this.
No, this is fair. This is actually a fair one, right? When it comes to the... You got it all together. You're like, all right, there it is now. Yeah. All I got to do is either cut it or eat it straight.
Wait, yeah, I was going to say, you don't cut it. Not a crisp sandwich.
Like, I absolutely... I squash it with my fist. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
like, I full-blown make a fist... And I just
of course you
punch.
Just take your aggression out on the sandwich.
Poor bit of bread.
Well, you need a crush. You know what I mean? Or else you have to crush the bag.
No, that's savagery. That's savagery. I'm sorry.
It's not.
You don't crush crisp bags. Hang on. Are you putting a whole bag in your sandwich?
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, I suppose nowadays maybe that's. I just think that's a lot of crisps in a sandwich.
But it's not. I'm making a crisp sandwich.
Yeah, but
I'm going to put the whole bag in.
All right. I mean, that's that.
Who else am I giving the rest of these crisps to?
Well, I'm just thinking of you with a fucking tube of Pringles trying to get the whole thing between two slices of bread, and what kind of mess that's going to end up with on the table.
Never even.
And then you just walking off and just going to your missus. Here you go, love. Clear that mess up. I'm going to make me fucking sour cream and onion Pringles. Club sandwich.
Would do that. No, the thing was, do you remember? Because I used to bring like bread to school, right? And then do you remember Pringles brought out those little tubs?
Yeah, the little airplane tubs.
Yeah, and you put all those in. Like I used to put a whole one of them in between two slices of bread. They held about 20 Pringles, I'm sure. It was a messy bastard of a sandwich. Though.
Yeah,
Christ,
it would be. I mean, like I say, I'm surprised your parents let you just have a crisp sandwich. But
well, you know, that's the way it is.
I think we need to move away from crisps. I think mine would be cheese and onion, salt and vinegar, and probably the chili Doritos. I think they're nice and a bit bread. They're just nice. So there's not much they can't improve. Having a chili, have a bag of them on the side.
Boom.
Yeah. Thomas has a question for us, which I'm going to be the boring one here. But what reality or game show would each of you appear on, and why? He says, imagine Adam Zoakes, that's Adam Carroll, on the I'm a Celeb eating challenges. Yeah, he's got a point.
Well, I like that's pretty much the one I should be on, I guess, at this stage. But the thing about it is, they start throwing out awfully weird things.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah. Like,
I mean, yeah, but like to be honest with you, if I'm offered the choice of eating a scorpion or regurgitated Pringles, that's not as easy a choice as you might think for a let's just say it, normal person.
Like, I don't know, man. Like
I do.
They don't eat food on that show. They just eat awful things. Like, they'll come up with a frog and go, there you go, eat that, and like full blown, I'll die. I'll just die straight away, there and then, on the show, dead man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your fear of the our riveting friends. So what would you be on then? What show would you be on?
What show would I be on? Do you know what show I always wanted to be on? And I went, I'd love a fucking go off that. Is Takeshi's Castle.
Ooh.
Yeah, I suppose that counts.
Yeah.
Eric, come on, it'd be so funny.
It's a reality or game show, and Takeshi's Castle is a game show.
It's a game show, and like, all I want to do is stand on that podium, shout some nonsense, and run and fail. Like, that's really all I want to do.
Yeah, fair. Mick, what about you?
Catchphrase, probably.
Oh, you fucker, that was mine. Okay, go on.
I'm just not to kind of sound pure arrogant, but I'm pretty amazing at catchphrase.
Right? Don't you watch them and think, you people are idiots. How are you not getting this?
Because
I'll
terrible.
Sit
there and say the answer, and then they'll hit it with something pure stupid, and I'm like, there's just this kind of unnecessary rage.
Yeah, you get those ones where it's like, it's blindingly obvious, and they just give the most stupid answers. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You're screaming at the TV, fish out of water, fish out of water. It's a fish bouncing around next to a fucking pond. Yeah, no, fair enough catchphrase. Same reasons for you, mate. I just look at every time I watch it, I just nail it, and yeah. Gaz, you'll go next because I need to think of another one. I mean, Love Island, I'd have thought.
Yeah, definitely. That's me all over. Crystal Maze.
Ooh,
but only if it was Richard O'Brien there.
Oh, that's a bit harsh on Richard O'Hardy.
And he's not Richard O'Brien, though, is he?
He's very good and funny.
Yeah. I've got nothing against him, but Richard O'Brien
sounds like
is
you've got something against him, mate. I'll be honest with you.
No, Richard O'Brien
sounds like
is the Crystal Maze. Just give him a beating.
Sounds like you really hate him.
I have no feelings whatsoever towards Richard
That's
O'Brien.
worse. That's actually worse, isn't it? Like, it's fine if you want to hit someone or shag someone, but like the idea of I feel nothing to you is as cold as it gets, isn't it? Fair play.
Like, before you answer your one, Ed, do you know what?
Please, because I need a bit of time still.
Do you know what show is really like, I really think I could do that? Like, do you know, there's a lot of those kind of shows where you're like, I definitely probably be able to do that. But The Cube is the number one. Like, every time they step into The Cube, I'm like, I'm bursting to give that a try. Do you not think you'd be pretty good at some
seen
of those
it, mate.
ones?
No, I mean, I couldn't do that. But
You've never seen The Cube?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's all right.
I don't care if it's out.
It's not the best show or anything, but it's good.
I didn't say that. Do you know? I'm coming out saying, could you do it?
I mean, I'm gonna say there's shows I would never be on, like The Chase, because the guys that you have to be chased by are so much smarter than everyone who ever goes on that show that, like, no matter what high score you get, they always manage to beat you. I'm a little disappointed that it's been left to me to say I think Gary should go on Pointless, but I said at the beginning. Well, Adam called me Bono. I may as well go for it. I think I would like to be on Nightmare because I absolutely adored that as a kid. And I know it looks really weird when you watch it back now, but I was obsessed with that show. I loved it because it was like, look at the technology. Like, it was shit even then, I think, but it just, there was a Nightmare Choose Your Adventure book. I had that. Me and my friends used to play Nightmare in the house, and to be honest with you, so dangerous because you'd be walking around blindfold right next to a flight of stairs, and just one joke sidestep right, and you're in hospital. And in many ways, we should have done it, but we didn't. But like, it was just, I love that show. I know people have said, they should bring it back. They shouldn't. It wouldn't work. It would be terrible.
They did like an anniversary one, didn't they? A few years back. Really? I'm sure it was a one-off, and it was still, I forget the dude's name, but it's still the same guy.
Oh, God, what is his name? Richard something, I want to say.
Yeah, but like, I forget what it was for, but I think it might have been like whatever anniversary it was, and they just did like a one-off, and it's like, it was shit.
It wasn't.
But
Richard,
at the same time,
it was Hugo Myatt, so I'm not even close.
But yeah, it was like
Craig
it was shit, but it was also, it was just nostalgic. It's great to watch it, even though it was just like, ooh, no, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, Nightmare for me, Nightmare, or Catchphrase. But yeah, he also wants to know.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
No, there's one game show that I don't understand why it exists, and every time I see it, it just annoys me. Is Tipping Point?
I nearly chose Tipping Point because it seemed like an easy way to win some cash. It's such a weird game show.
The whole concept is just so boring.
It's bizarre.
And the thing it really does man it in is the last bit. Now they're like, there's this star coin that's worth 10 grand.
Yep, and it looks impossible to get.
Well, it's not even that. It's crap. It's not worth 10 grand. Because like, if you make 3 grand, you're like, will you tip that over? We'll bring you up to 7. We'll give you 7 to bring up to 10. And you're like,
oh, is that what it is?
Aye. So it's not. It's like, no, we'll bring you up to 10.
I hate the format of it in that it's always the same, like Drop Zone 1, and it's the same. Like, if you could edit that show down to about 10 minutes. Aye. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, no, that's a fair comment. Easy way to win money, though.
Aye.
He also wants to know, last question for this week, what's worse, The wee sticky fragments of Whatsits on your fingers or sand between your toes, Adam?
I am fine with both.
But that's not the question, though. What's worse? There's got to be a worse one.
Probably the sand, because...
Yeah.
I'd go with that, yeah.
Definitely
I'd like
sand.
to... But the sanding doesn't bother me. Are my feet wet?
I don't know, are they? You'll look at your feet. Tell us. I'm going to say sand as well.
I hate you, Bono.
What's it? You can just stick. You can lick your fingers, can't you? You can't lick your toes. You can't lick the sand off your toes.
It's a very
Can you?
specific
You
thing,
could
a very
try.
specific fetish if you do.
Yeah, it is. Oh, so do you know what? We have got time for one more question. What's the biggest lie you've told to get out of a social engagement?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah. I don't think I ever have. As I get older, I'm kind of like, so, yes. Do you want to go to this? No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that.
If I don't want to go, I just sort of say, just tell them you're busy. Because most people, the thing is, if you've been invited to a social engagement where there's sort of 10 plus people there, it's not for you. So it's not like, oh my God, Adam can't come. Why? Whatever's the problem? It's like, I can't come. Okay, fair enough. Because like, there's 9 other people. So it tends to be, for me, it's just like, we're busy that night, sorry. And you know what? Recently, it was just like, sorry, I got to get up for work in the morning. And that was like, and that's enough for me. I'm old enough now that it's like, I can't go out on the lash and then get up early in the morning for work. So it's like, no, sorry, it's a school night, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's not a lie. So I haven't answered the question.
But I think that really is. I've just gone to things. And I went, oh, fuck's sake. And just been in the room and just been like, just want to go home now.
Yeah.
But you still go.
I do that less. I do that a lot less now.
Yeah, I used to do that, but like Adam said, once I sort of reached a certain age, it was just kind of like, I don't care.
I don't have to tell you a lie.
Like if I don't want to go, I just say I don't want to go.
I respect you enough to tell you the truth. I don't like you, and I'm not coming. And you that's good. You know, I mean, unless
like
Mick, 'cause Mick, I think you're the youngest here. I think.
I don't know.
Are you still in the status of going out with people?
I still go out. Like, aye.
So have you ever lied to get out of something?
No, because I'll just think, no, you know what? Fuck it, I'll go out.
I mean,
I'm still
it's a
mentality.
It's a bit of a boring answer for me, but I really don't lie. I'm not. I don't like liars, and I don't ever lie. It gets me in. I believe eventually.
Not even white lies.
No, mate. You get caught in the end.
Not a single white lie.
I don't lie. You get. I mean, apart from that one I just said, no, the one I just told then about not lying. Apart from that one little one, I don't lie. No, I genuinely believe that it may hurt at the time, but the truth will set you free. And if you're honest with people, they'll be honest with you back. And I really genuinely believe if you lie, you will get caught.
It's very poetic.
And it's also the end of the podcast. So thank you very much to all the questions. Thank you very much for those lovely games developers for making the games we've got to talk about. And thank you, dear listener, for considering our Patreon at patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, where for £1 a month you get this podcast early, next week's podcast, so every podcast early. That's the easy way of saying it. We give you videos early, like Mick's Random Access Memories, like the vlogs, but everything you get early. If we're allowed to, we give away codes on the Patreon. All sorts of stuff on there. We have a private Discord for Patreon supporters, so worth considering patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. Thank you very much to Adam, Mick, and Gary for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And everyone else listening, we will speak to you next week, or whenever you choose to listen. Bye for now.